bisita sa inyong mga parke at daanan. Magbigay ng puna sa King County Parks Levy hanggang Abril 29. Kunin ang kanilang survey at tumulong sa paghubog ng kinabukasan ng mga lokal na panlabas na espasyo.
Women Empowerment Talk Radio, your roadmap to business success. Tune in every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio World, providing resources and sharing motivational experiences from the everyday entrepreneur. Tune in Women Empowerment Talk Radio every Sunday, 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets, from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time. Once again, jazz from the cabinets. Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince, Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Night Beat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
It's the beat of the Fox. K-Fox Night Beat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The underground surround sound start time. Paul Pearson.
Tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Support for Rainier Avenue Radio comes from Cascade PBS, presenting season 2 of Out and Back with Allison Mariella Desir. Join Allison as she explores the Pacific Northwest with changemakers who are reclaiming space in the outdoors and creating opportunities for local BIPOC communities to engage with nature and find joy and healing. It's available now on Cascade PBS app and airing on KCTS 9 Thursdays at 8:50 p.m.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World. Check us out on social media. Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio World, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of Real Estate and Money. My name is Tina Lombard. I'm with Bank of England Mortgage.
Hi, and I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
Yes,
Happy
great.
April.
Happy April. It was April Fool's Day yesterday, and today is April 2nd, so no more April Fool's Day anymore. So.
No, I'm still a fool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking about taxes today because taxes are coming up. And before you know it, it's going to be April 15th. And so I believe it's April 15th this year that you have to get your taxes in. So we're going to talk all about taxes today and make sure that you are on the up and up of getting yours filed. Yes.
Okay. Yes. And if you're not ready, you better get going. Got a couple weeks left, right?
Yes,
So we're going to give you some tips on what to do. Tina's got a lot of stuff to say about this topic.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to, just prep you, tee you off with the different categories that I'd like to discuss today because it's so important that as homeowners, there are exemptions, deductions, and tips for real estate buyers, sellers, and investors, right?
Yes.
Depending on the jurisdiction.
Yes. So before that,
guidelines.
Are you going to be talking about some houses yet today?
No, we're just going to talk about taxes. It's all about taxes today.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So I just want to talk about, let's start with the buyers, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there looking for homes right now, and there are some deductions.
Yes.
Right, Tina, that they can take advantage of. Do you want to go over some of those? I've got a list of 5 things here, but let's hear what you have to say
Well,
for the buyers.
Yes, yes. First of all, when you do a loan, we want to verify your income. And if you do any of the government related loans like VA or FHA and even conventional, they're going to require tax returns. So Violeta, I have a lot of people who have not filed their tax returns in the last couple of years, and you cannot get financing unless you have filed your tax returns. Now, there are some people who are exempt from filing tax returns. Maybe they're retired, or maybe they don't make a certain dollar amount depending on where they live, and so they don't have to file taxes. But when you go for a loan, you do anything that has a down payment assistance, or anything that has to do with the government, you want to make sure that you do have your tax returns prepared. And it's very important. Now, people who are W-2'd,
how many years do you require
for tax returns? It's classically 2 years, sometimes 3 years if you're going into some great big giant business deal, but it's classically 2 years. In some cases, we don't need taxes, but we do need your W-2. There are some programs out there that are stated income, or they're alternative income, where we don't have to get as much verifications. There are some programs who do not require tax returns, but we do require the person to sign a 4506T, which is basically a form that we would, if we ever needed, we can actually file to get your tax return. So some programs out there, such as bank statement loans or DSCR loans, debt cash ratio service loans, they don't require tax returns. They just require proof of the deposit, proof of your down payment. But as far as taxes are concerned, it's very important. So Violeta, sometimes we don't really look at the taxes, but it is a way of showing that you are filing taxes. You are a legitimate income. You are a legitimate company. And so the tax returns that you file them, and we actually do go to the IRS, and we do get a transcript. And the transcript from the IRS should mimic or be exactly like the tax returns that you provided us, that you turned in. So a lot of times, Violeta, we'll have somebody and, they'll turn in their tax returns and they look great. And we actually have to submit that, like for an FHA loan or VA loan, we have to submit that into underwriting, and then we sell it in the secondary market, or we give it to FHA. A lot of times they may audit and check to see that those specific tax returns actually match the tax returns that the government provided. So unfortunately, there are some people who they think that filing tax returns is something they can just fill out. So they say they made $178,000 this year, and they give us the tax returns. I don't know who printed this up. I don't know where they got it from, but and then we go to the IRS. The IRS shows us a tax return transcript that shows maybe $37,000 for the year. So taxes are a way to, and believe you me, it happens. So a lot of times it does make a predicament of a situation. A lot of times I have realtors who give me clients, and their clients make good money, but their clients have not filed tax returns for the last 2 or 3 years. And, that's a very important question to ask. If you're a realtor, have you filed taxes? If they haven't filed taxes, that's kind of a big red flag for us, because we're not quite sure how to verify their income. So a lot of times we do require people to either turn in their taxes or at least sign the 4506T, right. Or if it's a situation where there's a program that's alternative financing or non-QM program where they don't require tax returns, they just require the money in your bank and they require a credit check, then we don't need that. But if you are W-2 out there, or you are self-employed, it is very important, if you do look for a conventional loan, if you look for an FHA loan, or if you look for a VA loan, that you do file your tax returns. A lot of times I'll get people who I'll tell them, I need 2 months, I'll need last 2 years of W-2s, 2023 W-2s, 2022. And I'll need the last 2 years of tax returns. And if they haven't filed for this year, I would need 2022 and 2021. And the person keeps sending me their W-2. And I'm like, that is not your tax return. And they're like, well, no, you told me to send us your taxes, so we sent you our taxes. A W-2 form is not a 1040 form, a 1040 form from the government. A 1040 form is an actual IRS tax return that you have turned into the government. A W-2 is what the tax, your CPA or what you use to put the numbers together for your 1040 form. So it's not just the W-2 that we need. We actually need the W-2 and the tax returns. So sometimes I get people, they're like, yeah, here's my 2022 tax returns. I made $185,000. And my 2023 I made $193,000. And then I ask for the tax returns, and they haven't filed tax returns. Or they'll have tax returns that say, yeah, they made $182,000, but they don't have a W-2, and we have to have a W-2. So people out there, it's very important when you're buying a home, maybe there are reasons you didn't file, you got an extension, or you just can't get your paperwork together in time, or you just didn't file for the last 2 years. You really, really cannot do a loan. You need to talk to your loan officer and your realtor really quick and find out if there is an avenue for you. But you have to file your tax returns. It's very, very important. There are some bad things can happen if you don't file your tax returns. A lot of bad things can happen. So for us, We do. Now, when we look at a tax return, Violeta, we look at the bottom line to find out how much income you make. And then we also look at to see if you have to pay any money to the IRS or if you're getting any money back. Sometimes people, they file their tax returns and they get maybe $8,000 back. And we can use that for a down payment or for reserves. Sometimes it looks like they owe $8,000 to the government. And we have to make sure that when we do the loan, they have paid off that tax obligation, or they've had at least 3 months of a payment plan behind them. So, V, do you ever get people who've got tax obligations that are your clients? You ever get that?
I didn't hear that. You're cutting in and out.
Oh, do you ever get clients where can you hear me, everybody? Oh, can you hear me now, Daniel? I can hear myself well, but can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's better now. The connection was bad. I was telling Daniel that.
Great. Well, there's sometimes.
So have I ever had clients?
Yeah. Have you? Do you get clients sometimes where they owe the government $5,000 and they can't do the loan until that's satisfied?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the number one lien on your property, right?
Yes.
A lien. It's getting your taxes paid first.
Yeah. We're not going to do a loan
over
if you owe the
anything.
government. If you owe the government
Can't move.
Yeah, and there are some people who owe, let's say $30,000 or $40,000 to the IRS when they come to me, and sometimes they're on a payment plan, like they pay the government maybe $400 a month, and that's perfectly fine. We just have to have 3 months of a payment plan, proof that you've made the payments for 3 months, and then we're completely fine with that. But if you think you can get away with not having a tax return when you go to buy a house, that is a very, very wrong conception. We don't want to make sure that we get in trouble because we did
the other thing, Tina. What if what if you see someone that has child support that you need to pay and they're behind?
Yeah, so that usually
do you look at that?
Oh yeah, it usually does not come on a tax return. But you know what? I'm so glad you asked this, Violeta. I am so glad you asked this because some people, they got 4 or 5 children that their current wife does not know about. That doesn't show on the credit report. But if we find when we do these investigations on your name, the title of the house, we do a lot of different, your social security number on your name, and we'll find out if there was a court order against you. And then we actually look at that to see if there's any child support. And if there's any child support due, we can't do the loan. We just can't do the loan. Sometimes, but, on the other hand, if you are receiving child support, that's a very good thing to have. That doesn't show on your credit report. It doesn't show on your tax returns necessarily, but it will show on other reports that we run that the public is not privy to. So, so child support is not going to show on the classic IRS or what have you, but we still have ways of finding out if you owe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
thank goodness Nick Cannon have for his 10 million children.
Exactly. Okay. We want to make sure that does not apply to you. I tell you, I've had people, they swore that they didn't have this son in Hawaii, but it's, but they have a son in Hawaii, and the current spouse does not know about it, So there's all these different things we look at. But as far as the tax return is concerned, for a person who's W-2'd, it's very easy. You turn in your W-2s, turn into tax, to TurboTax, to your H&R Block, or whoever who is doing your taxes. They look at that and they.
Okay, here's a couple of other things. I was looking at the list for buyers and the deductions or credits. First-time home buyers. Mm-hmm. They get a credit.
Yes.
On the taxes, right?
Well, actually, you want to talk to your tax accountant. We have to say that as a blanket. But if you pay $8,000 in closing costs or $13,000 in closing costs, you need to take that settlement statement to your CPA because they can write off a lot of those closing costs. And also at the end of the year, what Violeta's talking about, you actually pay interest throughout the year. And at the end of the year, you're going to get a statement from your bank, from your lender that says you paid, let's say, $18,000 worth of interest payments. And a lot of times those interest payments are tax deductible. So a lot of people don't realize this. They have an apartment at $3,000 a month. Then they get a house and the house is $3,500 a month. And they say, oh, I don't want to go up by $500. But the thing is that $3,000 a month, and you get no tax credit for it, is similar to depending on your tax bracket, it's similar to $3,500 a month, and you get a big mortgage tax break. So a lot of times, what Violeta is talking about here, at the end of the year, you get a mortgage statement that says this is how much interest you paid on your house, and with that, you're able to to deduct that for whatever, however your taxes are concerned or what have you. So now for me, I got like a 2.75 rate V. So my mortgage interest isn't that big. Okay? It's not that big. I do get credit. But this brings up another point. If you have a rate at 8% right now or 7%, don't really sulk, because at the end of the year, you're going to get a mortgage interest statement that shows an 8% or 7% interest payment that you can actually write off on your tax returns. And also, Violeta, there's people who are self-employed out there, and they get mortgage interest off of their house. Plus, if they have at least 25% of their house, and you have to talk to your accountant about this, if part of your house is used for your business, you can actually write off expenses on that house. Yes, so taxes are they're a big benefit. People think that they're a bad thing, but they're actually a very big benefit. I usually get a lot of money back at the end of the year. So for me, I look forward to taxes. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, along with a home office deduction. So yeah, she talked about mortgage interest. Property taxes is another deduction. All the way around, utilities and any repairs in those specific rooms.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The other thing I have is energy efficient credits for buyers.
Yes.
For solar panels or energy efficient appliances, getting into a new home, take a look at those. You will get some kind of a credit for.
Yes. And this is very important, and all these deductions you're talking about. When you're on your own and you're doing TurboTax, that's great when you don't have a house. But if you have a house and you have a business, you really need to talk to a tax accountant, because there's deductions out there that you are not aware of. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I was amazed. We had a class taxes and what you cannot write off money that not even for people in our industry, we talk and different things. If you're going on a there's a lot of things. So get to your financial advisor, a CPA or somebody that's a professional in that realm, and talk to them about what you do and what can you deduct. There's a million things you can deduct that people don't even know about.
Yes.
Let's talk about sellers, Tina. I have here capital gains, exclusions, seller closing costs, some of the closing costs associated with the transaction. It says here, real estate agent commissions, legal fees, and transfer fees can be deducted by the seller, and home improvement costs, anything that's you've done to your property prior to selling, renovations, repairs could be deductible. Don't know. Talk to your accountant again. And then there's a thing called a 31 exchange, where
1031 exchange.
You can defer paying capital gains taxes by going through that route. So it's reinvesting proceeds into a similar property using that format. Right. Anything else for sellers that you can think of, Tina?
Well, it's very good. A lot of people, when they're selling their house, it's a very good idea to have one credit card and one debit card just for expenses. So at the end of the year, you just have to pull out all your statements for that one debit card, and you'll have all your expenses on there for tax deductibility. And what Violeta was talking about with the 1031 exchange, that's if you sell an investment property and you do have capital gains. So you bought the house at maybe $20,000 and now you sold it for $450,000. Well, there is a $430,000 increase. You don't want to be taxed on that. So a 1031 exchange, you basically say, hey, listen, I'm selling this house and I want to use the equity, the extra $430,000, to put into another house, or maybe a couple of other houses. That way you don't have to pay capital gains on that. And Violeta, I get a lot of clients, they sold their investment property and they had to pay all these tax gains, and it's kind of too late. So a 1031 exchange for investment people out there, that's something that you really want to learn about. But everything.
Totally different category.
Yeah. Hold on to that settlement statement, like Violeta was saying. How do you know how much you're paying? What if you do pay for the seller's closing costs? If you paid the seller's closing costs, that HUD will show that you paid $13,000 worth of seller concessions. So it's very important to take the HUD statement after you sign and close on your home, you take that to your tax accountant. And Violeta, you'd be surprised at the people who do not know that.
Right.
And so, and you know, the best thing to do, I always tell people, do not operate on yourself. Would you go into heart surgery and operate on yourself? You know, why would you even cut your own hair? I don't even cut my own hair. Okay. You know, you're going to do your tax returns by yourself. You know, I got audited maybe 16 years ago because I was writing off my husband's car expenses and stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, I was involved in it. I had to pay money back to the government. I didn't know what I was doing. We had like 4 businesses. I didn't know what I was doing. So now I have my friend Arlene, who I hope that will be on the show pretty soon. Arlene has saved me so much money, and I did not know what I did not know. And she actually did my tax return. So you have to say to yourself, it's not a matter of arrogance, but if you don't have an accounting degree, if you're not a certified planning, you know, if you're not a CPA, you know, there is no shame in going to somebody and having them do your tax returns. Now, sometimes they can cost you $250 for the first page and $100 per page. And maybe you have like 12 pages. So you have to pay something like $1,300 for your tax returns. If it avoids a $30,000 audit, it's well worth the money. If you're able to get $8,000 back in $8,000 back from the government because you didn't know what you were doing, and you pay that $1,200 or $500 or whatever it is always a positive thing. You do not know what you don't know. And there is, you know, now going to an H&R Block or a TurboTax, that's awesome. That's really awesome. But, you know, for me, I'm in mortgages. And Violeta, you're in real estate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it requires a little bit more than just somebody down, not to take away from anybody. If you're W-2, we'll get it prepared. But if you've got, you know, this business and that business, and you're selling this property, you're buying this house, that's not something that the ordinary tax person can take care of. You need to go to an experienced CPA. You know, I went through that audit and it was not fun. Okay. It was something silly that I was doing. And I had to pay a lot of money because of my mistake. So now if you have somebody, you know, call a CPA and make sure somebody else does it for you. You know,
you want to keep every penny of your hard-earned money.
Oh gosh.
In your account, not Uncle Sam, right?
No. My friend she's like, Tina, didn't your plumbing break? What did you pay for that? Tina, how many cars Tina, do you give me the taxes on all your cars? I mean, she knows stuff that I wouldn't even know. So Tina, when did you move? You know, Tina, you know what you buy? You told me that you bought to do this, you knew that. And so and I'll be like, oh yeah, I bought that. And she'll say, well, then we can write that off. I'm like, oh, I didn't know, you know. And so, you know, so there's a lot of things that if you know your CPA, I'm not talking about somebody you just look up over the internet, you know, but if you really know your CPA, if they really know you, they can find a lot of stuff that you cannot find, you know. And she asked me, she's like, so what is, but she'll ask me, what does your daughter get paid? And she'll help me with that. But you've got to know somebody. You have to build a relationship with a CPA, especially if you're a business owner. You've got to have somebody that's doing your quarterlies, your annual statements, your profit and loss. You really need somebody to do that. Even your HR people. You cannot say, hey, I'm the smartest person in the world. I'm going to open 5 businesses and do my own taxes. Please do not do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
there's so much you can miss, you know, if you don't have a professional out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But let's talk real quick. How much time do we have? Investors. So, you know, what are we looking at for investors? Depreciation. They can depreciate the value of the property over time. Passive activity losses. Rental properties against other income producing, you know, income. I mean, passive income reducing your overall tax liability. Property expenses. If you're managing and maintaining rental properties, these are again for investors. So repairs, utilities, insurance, all that kind of stuff. Management fees.
Yeah, V, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me.
But it's been, really awkward connection.
Okay,
throughout the show. Sorry, folks. I don't know if you're seeing everything. But there's a lot of actions again. And call either one of us because we have people we can direct you to. And I hope maybe Christine, is that your friend's name? Maybe she can come on next week, right before tax time. If there's still people, crunching their numbers now.
Yes.
Because again,
Yes.
April 15th.
It's coming around the corner. Yeah. I've got my taxes right here. I've got all my tax stuff right here. So I'm saying to Arlene tonight. But
we're done.
I'm just gonna turn it into her. I don't need to calculate. I just turn it into her, and then she comes back and says, "Tina, this is what's going on. Sign these documents, and everything is all secured and everything." But I mean, I'm gonna get it done.
Just bring your box of paperwork to the accountant. They'll take care of it. They'll sort through everything.
Yeah, and they'll say, "Where's your cars at? Where's your this and where's your that? Where's your mortgage interest payment?" So they're gonna figure all that out. But I mean, I just want to say right now, do not be scared of your tax returns. Do not be scared of your tax returns, even if you didn't file last year or the year before. They know that you didn't file. They know, and you keep getting these W-2s and you haven't been filing. But don't be scared of it. It actually will help you out, and I don't want anybody to do anything fraudulent. A lot of times, a lot of people want to buy a house and they try to go back 2 years and amend their tax returns to show that they make more income. Don't do that. Do not do that. We want to make sure we give you a loan that you can actually afford, not something that's fraudulently inflated or anything. But make sure you find an accountant that's going to give you the truth and not be swayed by what you want to buy. Because when it comes to auditing and everything else, that's something you do not want to mess with. But if you haven't filed your tax returns for 3 years, just get it straightened out. Don't get scared. Don't get scared.
Yeah, and even if you're thinking, "Oh my God, I don't have all my stuff together to give to an accountant," it's okay. Chances are they're going to file care of it. So the 15th, and you're stuck, they'll take care of you with the extension.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah.
Or you can go tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what?
This month, tiptoe through the tulips, and you disregard all that.
Yeah, some tax returns for corporations are again. Yeah, with some people, they don't have to file their tax returns until October as opposed to April. So that's a little different. But you got time. If for whatever reason you can't make it because you can't find all your paperwork, or you were out of the country, or you were sick, you can file for an extension. That's not bad at all. It just gives you more time. So don't be scared of your taxes. They can really help you out. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We almost out of time here. What do you think? Well, just real quick, it's been beautiful last couple of days here in Seattle, Tina.
Yes, great.
Beautiful sunny weather, perfect Easter. It was wonderful a couple of days ago, and it's still nice out today.
It's been 60
for
degrees.
us. That's kind of warm.
Yeah, some of my friends actually jumped in my hot tub on Easter. We were out there having fun, and then yesterday it was like 60-something degrees. Then it snowed. It snowed last night. But then now it's like 67 degrees.
Oh, God.
That's why God's, so it's.
Yeah, you're sleeveless. Yeah.
So, but, we may have.
I have one promo I need to let everyone know about.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
This Thursday, April 4th at 5:30 p.m., we have a live broadcast from the MLK Community Center for the 56th anniversary of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination, the Day of Remembrance and Award Ceremony. So be sure to listen in to Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and the broadcast again starts at 5:30 this Thursday. So please join us in that celebration.
Yes. So let me turn it off for a second. Yeah. So anyways, we're so glad, that Rainier Avenue Radio is the heartbeat of the community there in Seattle. So proud to be part of this. So make sure you always tune in to see what's going on in your neighborhood and your community. Mm-hmm. Great. But anyways, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
We're here in Seattle at 2:30 every Tuesday, and here in Colorado at 3:30 every Tuesday. So we hope to see you again.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.